I think we are ready to start. Okay. Thank you. Good morning, good afternoon, depends where you are. I'm Irene Wong, your host for Everything Ballroom YouTube channel. So I am a pro dancer for 17 years, and I also run a ballroom business called Everything Ballroom as well. So our goal is to share the joys and benefit of ballroom dancing. And this segment actually called Everyone Can Ballroom. So I truly believe that everyone can ballroom. And hopefully you will see, hopefully you'll see that we have so many people can ballroom, including disabled, including people on 93 I interviewed earlier. So if you have, I said you have a leg, you can ballroom. So, and I hope you like what we do and give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. So today I'm very excited to invite this guest. And he actually is a TV star. And he recently has been in a series called Naked and Afraid. So it's a very tough guy. He's a survivor, talking about survival in the wild. And so how come a very tough guy and a survivalist will enjoy ballroom dancing? That is the questions. And we're going to invite our guest today, Anthony Keath Coppage. Yay! Thank you. And okay, thank you. I call you Keith. Is that okay?
Yes.
Great. Before we start, let's talk about you. Tell our audience a little bit about you.
So like you mentioned, I do a show called Naked and Afraid. I've done a couple episodes there, and we have expectations that we're going to do some bigger and better things with that in the near future. So I expect to be naked in the jungle or Africa someplace again relatively soon, and maybe for a more prolonged period on this next run, like 45 days, something like that.
That's wonderful. So, you are in this big tough guy. You're a big tough guy, right? So how you start this ballroom dancing? When do you start this,
So I was actually I was working as a bouncer at a bar ages ago, like 97 maybe. And I'm a bouncer at a bar. There was a girl that I knew. There's always a girl, but there was a girl that I knew, and she was doing cabaret theater arts at the time, is what they're still calling it, but doing all the lifts. And her partner got injured, and she said, hey, can you, a little bit of dirty dancing? Can we meet in the pool, and you can, pick me up, and I can continue to work on this stuff because, you're the biggest guy now. So we were doing that. It was going okay. She kind of tricked me and said, come on down to the studio. They could help us. I did. I went in, thought I was going for that. Did a little bit of coaching, knowing nothing about dance and still very much being, top heavy guy, but pick stuff up, whatever, I can do that. And they said, we joined this training class. I'm like, no, like, I'm not a dancer, like, no way. And but they said, well, that's a shame because here's the training class. I'm young, I'm 21. And I look over and there's like 6 attractive to very attractive girls and one guy, and I was like, I'm not going to continue doing this past the summer, but I like my odds of meeting some cool people. So I went into it thinking it would last a summer, and before things got past that, I owned a studio in Florida and was competing professionally, and so it was a very long summer.
Wow, that is a very interesting. So you're starting, actually, like many of my audiences, most of them didn't expect they were going to continue. Just, okay, free lessons, so you are pretty much a girl, attracted you there. And then because of girls, so you stay, and now you become, a instructor owning a dance studio. So tell us this particular point that you say, yes, I want to. Why you want to stay?
So the intriguing thing to me, What was that?
Yes.
I don't
Why do you want to
know.
stay?
So
What? Yeah.
the intriguing thing to me about this, and I wish I could spread this word more, isn't about, and I know for a lot of people it is, but for me it was never, the passion. I love the music, things like that. Certainly there's something to an embrace, and I believe that human touch. I think the pandemic showed us just how important that is because we all got a little crazy without it. But I like challenges. I like being pushed. I like never being able to attain. So I've done an Ironman. I've run some marathons in preparation for it. I'm not a runner. I didn't really care about running. It was just the challenge of an Ironman. With ballroom dance, it's the one thing that there is no kind of peak. You never stop learning. There's always another figure. There's a bettering of your technique. There's a new style. It's morphed. And, before it was more straight leg. Now it's more bent leg. Now it's more open. Now it's more closed. So it's constantly growing and expanding, and you never can reach the top. And that's exciting to somebody who likes to be challenged and strive to do more.
I love what you say. I think probably that's why I'm here. I'm still here after 17 years. It's never stopped learning, and it's a very humbling experience, right? We thought we can do and realize that the basics, 3 steps, the
Yeah.
basic was you can challenge yourself to do better and better. Just the 3 steps. So a lot of people, very easy to learn, but very difficult to do good. The one that like you and us to like to be challenged, all people out there listens. If you like challenge, at least give it a try. That's the big message I would like to mention. So in this journey, so how long it has been?
So I started 30 years ago. Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. 30 years ago, roughly, pretty close to that. But mind you, there was a kind of big gap in between. And that's an important note because we sell people on this idea that it's permanent, that whatever you learn stays with you for life. I can absolutely now say that with confidence. Here I was in it for 10 years. I owned a studio in Florida. I was competing professionally in international Latin and doing fairly well, making a lot of finals and some podium spots like we wanted to be. Doing really well. I had my reasons. I kind of walked away from it and went back to the other things. Lived aboard a boat in the Caribbean and did security contracting and policing in New Zealand and Australasia. Back to all the tough guy stuff though, right? Search and rescue, alpine search and rescue. And then when I got to Vegas, when I came back to the States after nearly 13 years, I did search and rescue and again some more security contracting stuff like rapid response for active shooters, stuff like that, completely away from dance. And Vegas caused me, kind of long story, but Vegas caused me to say, hey, I've got a daughter. I don't want her to grow up here. I've seen the worst in people. I need to get out of this and get someplace that is better. So sight unseen, I picked up and moved to North Carolina because of mountains and good living and so moved to Western North Carolina. Walked into a ballroom studio. Again, it's been 13 plus years since I've thought about a dance step, and it would have taken a night to get most of it back, 2 months before all the technique that came back. There's still some gold figures that I haven't recalled, but that's about it. Like everything came back right up to hopefully by the competitions that we win, I can say good teacher competing pro-am level, all that came back. So I can get back to the level I was at after 13 years. We really do. We buy this for life. I know it's expensive, but we buy it for life. We're going to be able to do it as long as we've got a leg. We're going to be able to keep on doing this. And that's really important to know.
Even though legs, I just have some interview about people that disabled, be able to compete dancing. It's such a good mind and body exercise. And I'm passionate about it after 17 years. Like what you said is I did take a little bit break during that time, during COVID. But like what you said is something that you last for life, the learning, the training, the mental health will last for life. Or I have people like 93 years old and say basically that ballroom saved me. So I really want everybody to experience it and to try it. So your is really good talking about that. So it's okay to take a break, even a long break, come back as well. So what's your biggest accomplishment and challenge in the journey? So
The
share with
biggest
the audience.
accomplishment and challenge. We you know, there's some obvious answers, winning the Triple Crown, or, placing at this place at USDC. We were semifinal, but that was still huge event. So there's those obvious answers like that. But I'm going to be a little mushy here. I'm going to say probably the biggest accomplishment is within the studios that I've been in. My studio in the past, we married 5 couples that met at our studio. Just recently, I've seen it again where um, people have come in, and I've had couples come in, one in particular that they barely touch each other. You would have thought that they were at prom and it was like, ooh, girl, right? Like junior prom. Ooh. And go through the series, and about 6 months in, he said something about a payment, or here's our next block of lessons. I know that hits always the first time we do that. And then he said, yeah, but it's cheaper than marriage counseling. Fast forward to 6 months after that, I'm having a showcase, and I get a call from them saying that it's happening, the baby's due. So here are these people that would not touch, right? We're very disconnected. Marriage is on the rocks. Fast forward, maybe it's 10 months versus a year, and they're having another baby. And right. So it's those things that you realize, like, that connection. We don't have a means to connect. We get on our phones, you watch the TV, I stare at my phone or my book. Then we go to work the next morning, and there's never a time where we just embrace and we hold each other and we talk, and we creating that is super special.
Yeah, and then it's communication. I thought about dancing is a couple of things. Is learn to listen is harder in communications, right? So I was just interview the world champions, Andrea and Natalie. They were couple competing together. I love them too. So encourage people to watch that interview. So they talking about communication coupled together. It's a dance floor, and in and out is the same, right? You need to be able to learn to communicate and learn to adapt to each other. And then the ballroom dancing is just a one way to showcase and manifest these communication methods. And with a coach like you, that's really finding the right coach, also very important, right? Like you, and then you demonstrate it. How important is about communications in the dance world, how important that social aspect of ballroom dancing is to bring people together. I think the world needs more of that. That's why I create this segment and say, everybody come and see and how experience these unspoken benefit, besides the athlete, besides this doing physical, connections and learning the step, looking beautiful, but also social aspect of thing. I love what you say. And then your experience, tell us, say, hey, besides Tough Gut What Challenge, couples want to learn how the communication should come in and learn about the ballroom dance and give it a try as well. Love that. So that's a benefit. That's another thing I want to ask you is that benefit, definitely. Any other benefit you see or encourage the people into the dance world?
Yeah, this is for me, again, a different aspect. And this is what I want to shout from the rooftop to so many guys. And I mean, veterans, people who have been through some difficulty. So maybe women as well that have been through just some really trying times. PTSD is the overused word. But when you've been in the soup, is the phrase, right? In the thick of it. And you want to be able to connect with people, but not talk about your job. Because talking about my job means I've got to talk about things when I would talk about the job, it would always come into, unintentionally tell us about the worst times in your life, right? So like, hey, I'm doing this. I was a security contractor and I was overseas, and it was like, really? So did you see anybody die? Did you? And I know the intention is tell me exciting things, but what you're asking somebody to do is bring up things that are the worst thing that they have in their head and they don't want to think about, but they don't have a lot else. A lot of their stories are wrapped up in being that person. While I was doing those things, I didn't dance, not because, I didn't want to or whatever. My focus had to be singular in that, in being that person. So now I don't want to be that person. What do I do? Where do I go? If you go to places, the VA, if you go to help groups or whatever, you're doing what? Talking about those same problems. And that can be beneficial, but you're just regurgitating and rehashing the same thing. What I found was at a ballroom dance, nobody cares where you work or where you're from, or are you kind? Are you nice? And do you cha-cha? Do you waltz? Cool. You might dance 6, 8 dances the same night with this person and not know more than their name. I left the dance. Irene was awesome. Right. I don't know anything more about her, but so there is this connection that can happen, and it can happen without having to get into all these details about where you're from. So for people that need to see again the best side of people, they need to see humanity from an aspect where people are kind and giving and open. It's such a fantastic way to start that bridge over troubled waters, to start that bridge from the bad to the good and get to a good place. And that's really when I got here, that's what restarted me. What started my journey back again was I'd spent all that time in Vegas. I was becoming too angry, and not in a physical violent way or anything, but I have a daughter, and she asked me one day about monsters in the closet. And I was like, there's no monsters, people. That's the only monsters out there. I was like, oh, wow, what a horrible view. How are you going to keep living, at least yet progressing down this path where you literally think people are the problem? Humanity just is terrible. And so that had to end. And I came small town, good, but now how do you meet people and in the best way? Ballroom dance. So I really think for a lot of our vets, for a lot of the tough guys, give yourself a chance to go in and just hold a woman, right? It still sounds tough when I say, just I want you to go someplace where you can actually politely and kindly embrace other people, right? So, but know that and get to that place where you can see the better side of humans.
Oh my God, you give me goosebumps by saying this. I think, I can't echo, I need to echo this. I just pulled this one out for the world right now. Human beings, interactions, that is the world needs. It's not all that awful. And especially we talking about vet problem. Is this the first time is get my lightning again as well. So we should, share this so much benefit. You talk about that, the older generation ladies that go to the 93O interview that touch my heart, right?
Mm-hmm.
It is a therapy. It is a therapy that people think is
Absolutely.
expensive, but like what the gentleman said, it's cheaper than mental
Mm-hmm.
therapy, physical therapy. There's
Yeah.
so much problem out there. If we can just embrace each other, think positively, enjoy and happy, listen to the music, forget about the
Yeah.
worst thing happening and just embrace the human interaction. That is so beautiful. And that touches me, and now I have more view. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for telling other people. So what will you tell the people? Keep saying that it's not for me. I have two left feet. I can't dance. That's almost
Yeah.
everyone I talk to. There is like always these reactions for the one that don't dance. What do you say to them?
I believe for most everyone, and I think they're going to be honest, they're going to agree with me. Personal opinion is you are scared. I say that in the kindest way. You're nervous. We have comfort zones. And that's unfortunate, which sometimes puts us too much in our chair, our couch, in front of our TV, in front of our phone, not doing those things because we have comfort zones. And I'm comfortable here and I'm comfortable not to go and meet people and strangers. And what if I look stupid? And if I can't do it, I have two left feet. I know it's uncomfortable. It's going to be uncomfortable. But the best things in life are just outside of your comfort zone. You already know everything in your comfort zone that feels good. You already know everything you need to know about it, everything you can know about it. To learn more, to grow, to experience, you got to step outside the comfort zone. And that might be ballroom, that might be jumping out of a plane, but you got to do something. If you don't want to jump out of a plane, I get it, but do something. You know, it's easier than jumping out of a plane, taking 3 steps forward side together and back side together. So just try it. But in life, I would ask everybody, get out of your comfort zone, test yourself, push yourself to just try something.
I love. Okay. Technical difficulty. Anybody? Okay, so that's good. So I love what you said. Just get out of your comfort zone. Give it a try, right? Give it a try. So it is so important in life that life is so much better if you look it out and try something.
Yeah.
Something, anything, right? Dancing is one of them, but in general, just get out and give it a try. I'm so grateful for you sharing this. And I also want to ask anything else you want to share before I open the mic for our audience if they have any questions directly to you.
No, I'd love to hear the questions and see what we got, whether it's about dance or Naked Afraid or whatever it might be, and see where we go.
Great. So for the audience, if you have a question, you can raise your hand if I can see you, or just go to the emoji underneath it and then go to react in your screen and then raise hand and we'll see you and I will call you out for it. So Ellie, are you okay? Spotlight you so you can ask your questions. Thank you.
Hi, Keith. You talk about the comfort zone. So there are 4 styles of dances, like the international standard, smooth, rhythm, or Latin. Which one is kind of the most challenging for you? Step out of your comfort zone, and why? So which one you feel like I'm not too confident, even I'm a pro?
Yeah, really good question. Because like I did international Latin, and that was pushing a boulder uphill. Like we were really going against the odds. Because as we know right now, most everybody doing international Latin, well, everyone doing international Latin is from Europe typically. And they've been dancing since they were children. They've got amazing coaches, right? So they are definitely ahead of the curve when it comes to this. And even back then, it was still very much that case. I think now we see phenomenal people like Andre and Natalie going over into American after all these great accomplishments in international as well. But I was pushing a boulder uphill for international, but it was because when we look at these styles and we talk about guys being comfortable with this, for me, I'm not very much of a peacock, right? Like, let me show off and be, out here and flamboyant. And so one of the dances that made me go, I'm not doing American rhythm, was mambo, because at the time everyone was so flamboyant. There was so much peacocking going on, and I was like, that's not me. But paso doble as a replacement is a tough guy dance. I like that. I can do that, right? So looking at the dances, I felt like just off of, where they stood, international was definitely more, it was more my vibe. But it really depends personality wise, because somebody who isn't flamboyant is going to have more difficulty just opening up and allowing their hips to be this big volume. Andre, speaking of from the last thing, volume, right? American rhythm is volume. International is how quickly you can transfer the weight of your body from one foot to the next with what speed. So it is very silent and quick and strong, and there's a lot of passion in that. I really like that. It was powerful. rhythm, flamboyant, lots of volume, lots of movement. Each person's going to individually kind of gravitate towards what they like. I love the technique and the accomplishments of standard, but you can't pass on the open versions of smooth, being able to open up and actually design it to be your dance like you can in smooth versus doing, so many set things and following this precedes and follows. And so it's hard to say right now. I've been doing a lot of American smooth, which is a big change for me. I didn't really do it before. My coaches made me do standard to be better at Latin, but now I'm kind of fixated on smooth more than anything.
Thank you.
Great. Any other questions? Okay, so this is wonderful because for me, I do all four dances as well, except standard I didn't do because I knew it was important to help smooth. Sometimes I come back to do a lot of steps, and I think the challenges is easy to learn, hard to do well. Go back to the basic now, right? Like what you say people and then you can do a lot of dance, but if you want to do better, sometimes the foundation is more important and challenging.
100%.
Yeah, so I am the kind of person opposite of you. I like the peacocks. I can do that. Look at me, and I like to show it off. I like to be on stage, but I'm more looking back and say the foundation, the footwork, the detailed little things that matter is not here anymore, right? This is great, but this is more important. The inside, the down is more important. So it's a journey, right? So I say everybody is different. Find your journey. My experience is say enjoy it first.
Yes.
Do what
absolutely
you feel right, and take your journey and enjoying the little journey, enjoying the social, enjoying the competition. If you like challenge and focus on that. If you like show off like me, doing showcase and doing that. If you like, go for the competitions, or if you like neither, don't need to compete. Just be social, doing.
Challenge yourself. That's all.
Yeah, do a little bit, something, a little bit step outside, a little bit, one step at a time. Don't worry about anything else and get started. So
there's a term, social dancing, and I would only argue for people not to get trapped in that. And that's the idea of, well, I don't need to be better because I'm just a social dancer. I don't need to, grow past this because I'm a social dancer. I can dance socially. And my statement has always been, it doesn't matter if Andre and Natalie go out tomorrow night and they go dancing out someplace, they're social dancing. They're social dancers for that moment. Don't get trapped in that idea that is where you need to be. The better you get, the better you'll be a social dancer you'll be. You don't have to do it for comps or shows, but be your best. But that wraps back to, did you get your foundation strong? Do you have what I call the essentials? Because if you don't have the essentials, you're a social dancer now because it's really the only place you can go and be comfortable.
Yeah, I agree with that. Social dancing. So for me, I can dance with anyone now, right? Before, if I'm not good, it's hard to follow because I don't have my own foundation. And then if you're not good, it's hard to lead. You can't listen to music. So, but if you better, actually, you will be able to dance with anyone. So
and
that's
enjoy it more.
Yeah, you also want to challenge yourselves to be able to do it and enjoy every music come on, and you can do it without overthinking it, right? These are all things that through practice make perfect. So, definitely, ballroom dancing is about never stop learning. If you want to be better, it never stop. Even, the world champions like Andrea and Natalie, they practice every day still, and then they still learning and to improve. So I think this is such a great challenge in life and a great make us feel young, because learning and growing is the fountain of youth. I think, this mentality give us things that, especially nowadays, is aging population. A lot of people, getting older, and then a lot of stress. All the things that the ballroom dancing give it to us. Thank you so much. For joining us. I feel I get a lot out of it. I'm hoping audiences and also learn about it and give it a try. And if you like what we are doing, thank you, Keith, for tonight. But
Thank you.
Yeah, and thank you, every audience. And if you like what we're doing, please share. Because I think there's so many people who can get benefit out of ballroom dancing if they don't know about it. There's a lot of misunderstanding about ballroom dancing and about this industry. So give us a thumbs up and share about this YouTube and share about my channel, Everything Ballroom. And I hope everybody have a beautiful life. And thank you so much. And have a good night. Okay. How do I stop? How do I stop the YouTube? I don't know. How do I stop YouTube? Shoot, did I not start the YouTube? If not, it's okay. If not, I will. Did I start the